Welcome. This is a brief tutorial explaining how I dealt with multiple calendars when trying to import an XER file into PRA or Primavera Risk Analysis. So it's not a major problem because the fix is so simple, but it will distort your information if you're not careful. So this is the caution that Primavera lists, and I'll just read it. Plans can contain multiple calendars with different numbers of working days per day, which can mean durations displayed in days are misleading. We almost always think in days. And so what happens is when you're doing your min and your max, assuming this is direct application for some of the smaller schedules, then the people that you're dealing with are going to think in days as opposed to hours. So what I had to do is, and I had a particular project schedule, level 2 project schedule, that I had to manipulate. So anyhow, the idea here is that you really need to make some adjustment if you've got multiple calendars in P6. Here was my situation. I had a 90 activity level 2 project schedule with 4 calendars. This particular schedule was not resource loaded, and it was a preliminary planning schedule for a pipeline expansion project. So my 4 calendars was an office calendar, which is for engineering, and that's just basically your 5-day, 8 hours a day. Now we could just as easily done 8.5, the 9/8, but this is what we had there. The field, which was a 6 days a week, 10 hours. This was a lot of field contact, going out talking to prospective landowners, things like that. And they seem to think that they're going to be working through Saturdays, and basically the hours were going to be about 10-hour days. Construction was a 5-10-hour days, and then we just had the elapsed time for procurement. And this is just the 24/7. It just means that 6 months from now, this is when we're going to get something. And it was just easier to think that. So this is the situation. Now I'll show you what I did. Okay, this is our schedule. Nothing special here. What I just want to show you here is that we're using multiple calendars here. And I should also stress that this is only appropriate in some of the smaller schedules, the say level 2, where you have direct attribution, where we could give each activity a minimum and a maximum. And this will not be a problem when you use templated quick risk or something else that doesn't require you to import your ranges. So this is what we've got, and how I changed this is I just went into the user-defined fields, and I created 2 new activities, a max H and a min H, that were integers, no big deal there. So once I created those, then I went in here and created a global. And this is just one of the globals that I created. And so basically here's the calendar equals elapsed time. And I'm just saying that max H and min H is going to be my other ones, my min and my max. And I'm going to multiply that by 24. So I'm taking basically a day and turning it into the number of hours. And you do that for all of the different calendars, so that eventually you end up with the basically where we have our min H, which is now some multiple of the minimum and the maximum. And that's just showing you what I'm creating, because I'm going to import these. So I won't go through the steps here, but essentially I've already exported this thing. And so now I'm over into PRA. And so basically this is the exported file, my XCR. I'm opening that. And the thing that I want to do to show you here is, first of all, we change everything to hours. And ordinarily I would do it in days, but do it everything in hours. And then I'm changing my my ranges here. Before, this used to be the min. Now I'm making it min H. And the same thing with the max. And again, everything is in hours here. I'm not going to import this. Just going to let you know how it's done, because I want to go directly to what we've done just to save a little extra time. Oh, damn it. So I'm going to cancel out of this thing. And this is what we've got. And I should put a cancel on that. But I should have called your attention to the check on this thing, which was the duration. It's the 28th of November. And, but everything came in, and I'm still showing my min and my max. And they're brought over here, which in the past has not been the case. These the likely durations have always been skewed, and so everything came in perfectly. It just, to me, it's so incredibly simple. I don't know why I didn't think of it before. But again, remember, this only applies to those schedules that where you put a fixed, some kind of a range on this thing, and you're not allowing it to come in through the quick list template or something like that. So for whatever value, this is what it eventually looked like. Just to show you that it works. Surprisingly, our deterministic came in at about 55%. Surprised me, because we had some unusual ranges. So that's basically it, and I'm overusing the word basic, but the stress here is that it only applies to level 2 schedule, those schedules for which you have made a direct attribution of a range. If you haven't, then it probably, everything's going to be done in percentage, probably doesn't matter. But again, on the multiple calendars, it's probably very important to do everything in hours. Primavera P6 does everything in hours anyway, and does all its calculations. So that might just be a little caveat. Try to think in hours, though. When you're making your presentation to people, they have to think in days. They can't think in hours, or we can't think in hours. I have the same problem. So that's it. I hope it's been useful to you. It's fairly simple once the concept is explained. So, if you have any questions, just post them on Planning Planet, and we'll go from there. Thank you for your time.